First of all, let me say again, I believe Peter Simeti, Tug, Edwin Boyette, but Captain Cummings and JDA also have the right to ask questions. Captain Cummings has made a lot of good points over the years, so I am withholding judgment. And really, if someone wanted to stop the dispute, all it takes is Peter to mute JDA and the captain. It's not that deep, and it's not a big deal if he did exaggerate. Having someone try to use the state to murder you by proxy is pretty stressful. The problem with Twitter and YouTube is that it's always on, 24/7. It'd be funny if there's a social media site that's shut off for a few hours a day. In real life, you see someone in person, then you go away and you have time to let thoughts percolate and cool off. But on social media, there isn't an external force that shuts off the platform. You have to go turn Twitter off or say something spicy and get a few days off. You don't have to respond to everyone. Just mute people or mute whole conversations. Blocking is a last resort. But if it's the option between spurging out over every little thing, non-stop for days on end, or blocking, then just go ahead and block people. There are people who try to draw me into fights. I won't mention names, but they are trolls. Froggy ones. I don't block them or even mute them. I just ignore them. Pick your battles. Are you arguing over something important or something minor? The way I see it on Twitter is I say my piece, I drop a few red pills, and I just move on to something else. I won't say that. Most of all, it is people that are just bored of quarantine and they are a little cranky. So they start fighting over some petty BS. Some dude was in a shootout with the cops and people are arguing over it. Dip in, say your piece, and then just mute the thread. What's the point in arguing it beyond a few posts? Nobody is paying you for your Twitter word count. And that's arguing with strangers. When it's arguing within Comicsgate, it's even weirder. I assume that we are all roughly, and here's the thing, even if you're not in Comicsgate for whatever reason, but you're roughly allied with it, we're all roughly on the same side here. Aren't we all sick and tired of SJWs? And if I'm misunderstanding some of these groups here, and they're actually SJWs who are like associated with Comicsgate, hey, point it out, let me know. That will change the equation. Apparently we're not, because some of us are acting like SJWs. Gossip and innuendos, he said, she said, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Just something to keep in mind. You don't really know anyone on YouTube, which is a good thing, because most people with channels are a little nuts. There is a difference between trolls who do it for the lulz and people who rely on it as a source of income. As soon as they get some money rolling in, they get weird because they want to protect it and they get a swollen head. I can comment on this because while I do make videos, I will never be a YouTuber, though I am looking forward to doing live streams when I get to 1,000 subs. Hopefully by then, things will be back to normal, and I'm sure it is. Something about conventions going online. No. Things are going to be back. By this time next year, you're going to be going to a convention. People might be wearing masks and hand sanitizer, but it's going to be back to normal. This Wu flu it's serious, but it's exaggerated also for political purposes. They think that the media thinks if they play up the Wu flu, they can hurt Trump. The media is also the group that got Trump elected by giving him $2 billion in free publicity. So pretty much whenever they leave the house, they are stepping on their dick. Another thing. When you have people arguing on Twitter, everybody picks sides and jumps in. So even when the two principals have made peace, the peanut gallery keeps pouring oxygen on the flame. Women can't run Star Wars, Doctor Who, etc. Not everything is made for everyone. Women are good at The Notebook, Titanic, Sparkly Vampires, 50 Shades of Grey, that kind of thing. You can't put women in charge of content made for males because they are females. Women aren't men. Women read romance or drama, men read sci-fi or military history. They meet in the middle in the genre of fantasy, which mostly sucks, except of course for Tolkien, who wrote the 4 greatest books in fantasy history. They say they want diversity, so they hire a woman who is already a millionaire. First of all, why do you want diversity? You're confusing your goals here. The goal is to sell a great product. Yes, but No buts. If you want to make a comic book or a movie based on these things, get yourself a bunch of fat neckbeards who go to Star Trek conventions. You want people like, EBS, Mike Miller, JDA, Doug TenNapel, even Anna, Tristan, and Mecca. I know they're girls, but they're like honorary males, I guess. And I didn't mean all women are bad writers. It just seems to be the ones that the SJWs hire are on the far, far left of Tumblr extremisms. You want nerds who look like they have always paid for sex. Sorry, guys. Basically, guys who are obsessed with the lore of comics. You don't want Kathleen Kennedy, Leslie Headland, Dana Schwartz in charge of anything for men because they are women. They weren't hired on merit. The only reason they got hired is because of their sex. Do you think they really give a darn about Star Wars or the Hulk? It's just a paycheck and a stepping stone. And not just women. There are plenty of men who are only there because of the color of their skin or some other diversity points. But everybody is terrified to be called istophobic when they criticize someone with darker skin. So you get people, I won't name names, I guess I'll edit that out, who just don't deserve to be there. That's the politically correct way of saying that. The problem is that social media is in charge of making the hiring decisions. You have the worst of the Tumblr kids who are developmentally disabled communists who are sending Zoe Quinn and Anita Sarkeesian money to make videos about video games when they never actually play video games. Then Anita Sarkeesian, didn't she sell her? Well, never mind. Then they build a social media following, and they try to pressure game companies to hire them as consultants to tell them to make the women look more like men. It's a circular grift simply based on the fact that they were young, attractive women. If Anita Sarkeesian, Heather Antos, Zoe Quinn, even Renfamus, and the rest were 200 pounds, you would never have heard of them. Young girls are mostly the ones standing these women, and young girls really hate fat chicks. It's no coincidence that all their idols are young, attractive, slim women. Now that Anita Sarkeesian, Antos, Quinn are getting older, they had better learn to do something productive. Quinn has a comic that I reviewed, I don't remember the name, but it sucks balls. I guess talent doesn't run in the family. Right, Ethan? So, interspecies gay erotica. I looked up this lady, I can't pronounce her first name. Her last name is Scott, and she looks exactly like what I imagined. Right down to the fish mouth that so many feminists have. Stereotypes exist for a reason. OMG, I can't believe DC let me include a gay bestiality scene. I can totally believe it. You have Constantine getting banged by a shark. Do you see the symbolism here? The shark symbolizes a demon, and Constantine symbolizes Christianity or an angel within the Christian universe. The kids who watch this don't think anything about it, but the writers are laughing their asses off. At first blush, it all sounds a bit tinfoil hat. That is, until you start noticing it. What speeds up the process is that these ideologues are pretty open about their ideology on social media. Bounding in a comics article, Justice League Dark. Interspecies relationship between Constantine and King Shark. Okay. Just made it canon that the sexual preference of limey wizard detective John Constantine know no limits in terms of gender and metahuman species. Going a step further into degeneracy in the comics and television, the newly released movie revealed shark fucking. John and the Suicide Squad's King Shark had a thing, and Constantine bottomed, which means what you think it means. I'm not 100% sure on that, and I don't want to be. Okay, think in terms of symbolism. Just keep that in mind. The revelation came out, no pun intended, when Constantine and Raven went into a bar to pick up, again, no intentional puns, recruits to join the mission. Constantine announced bollocks when they came across King Shark and Harley Quinn. Raven thinks he means Harley, but John, insulted, declares he's not mad. King Shark then winks, and Constantine nervously averts his eyes. Shark love. Please, in front of the children, don't say chicken fucker. Chicken lover. Animation and comic writer, showrunner, Mairghead Scott confirmed she wrote this and they let her, which blew her away. Yeah, I can't believe John Constantine totally bottomed for King Shark. I can, because if I looked at these pictures, it would be, to write anything other than a gay bestiality scene would be shocking. That would be the real surprise, that she would write something other than, there's that fish mouth I was talking about. All right, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Hit me up, biancazombie622gmail.com, or send something to my P.O. box if you want me to take a look at some hard copy of something. I will see y'all next episode.